Hello, this is Dr. Jessica Han. In this module, I'm going to talk about hypothalamus and the pituitary gland. Hypothalamus is located in the brain, close to the third ventricle. It regulates the water balance, thermal regulation, and the sex drive, and the childbirth. The hormones released from the hypothalamus are listed in this table. Some of these hormones control other hormones in the pituitary gland. For example, the growth hormone releasing hormone is being secreted in the hypothalamus. He controls the release of growth hormone in pituitary gland. So the function of hypothalamus is actually release hormones to control the pituitary gland hormonal secretion. CRH is a corticotropin releasing hormone. It promotes the adrenal corticotropic hormone in the pituitary gland. Somatostatin inhibits secretion of growth hormone and the thyroid stimulating hormone. Growth hormone releasing hormone is also in hypothalamus. It controls the growth hormone being secreted from the pituitary gland. Gonadotropin releasing hormone also controls the follicle stimulating hormone and luteinizing hormone in the pituitary gland. Prolactin inhibiting hormone inhibits the secretion of prolactin. Thyrotropin releasing hormone promotes pituitary gland to secrete the thyroid stimulating hormone and the prolactin. One thing you want to pay attention is that when hormones enter the bloodstream, they will be circulated through the whole body. However, it doesn't mean all the organs within the body will react to the hormones. The hormone can only function when the targeted organ or cells have the receptor, or they have enzymes to activate the hormone. Hypothalamus controls the activity of pituitary gland. Pituitary gland has an anterior lobe and has a posterior lobe. Pituitary gland secretes a lot of hormones control our body homeostasis. Here are the hormones released from the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland. ACTH, follicle stimulating hormone, growth hormone, luteinizing hormone, prolactin, and the thyroid stimulating hormones. All these hormone secretion, as we mentioned earlier, are controlled by the hypothalamus. The function of those hormones are listed here in this table. The posterior lobe of pituitary gland, they function more like a nerve tissues. They are not a true gland. They also can secrete some hormones that control the body metabolism. The two hormones secreted from the posterior pituitary gland are antidiuretic hormone that targets kidney to regulate the water balance and blood vessel constriction. Another hormone is oxytocin, which regulates the contraction of uterus and the mammary glands. The relationships among hypothalamus, pituitary gland, and the targeted organs are listed here. The hypothalamus regulates majority of the hormones released from the anterior lobe of the pituitary gland. The secretion of hormones from pituitary gland is controlled by hypothalamus, feedback loop, and the central nerve system. The brain can monitor the conditions of our body and then influence the hormonal secretion from pituitary gland. Under some special conditions, such as pregnancy or stress, then different type of hormones will be secreted. During the stress, the hypothalamus will trigger the pituitary gland to release the ACTH. And during the pregnancy, the hypothalamus will trigger the pituitary gland to release the prolactin. These two hormones are all from the anterior pituitary. The posterior pituitary is controlled by neuroendocrine reflexes. Under the reflexes conditions, the release of hormone will only happen in response to the nerve signals. For example, the hypothalamic osmoreceptors will trigger the release of ADH when they detect a rise in blood osmolarity. So the ADH will regulate the water retention and increase the water concentration in the blood to dilute the salt concentration. Infant suckling can trigger the response in hypothalamus to regulate the release of oxytocin from the posterior pituitary. Then more milk will be produced. Both negative feedback and positive feedback loops can also regulate the pituitary gland secretion. Thyroid hormone is releasing from the thyroid gland. If we have too much of it, the thyroid hormone will come back to inhibit the secretion of the thyroid releasing hormone from the hypothalamus and also inhibit the release of the thyroid stimulating hormone from the anterior pituitary gland. The positive feedback loop can also occur. For example, during the labor, the stretching of uterus will increase the oxytocin to be released and cause further contraction. The more contraction will cause more stretching of the uterus until the delivery.